It's got a weird dust on it.
That is weird.
Might be pollen. Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Tiffany Unpacks in Oregon. Today's episode, Ichi is playing with her ball because she's bored, and we are going to open box of games number 3. Hey, the F's back. Okay. I'd like to report that we can kind of see the kitchen window. So, you know, progress. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Yes. It's got some nice filler on top. Oh yeah, that's definitely pollen. Dang it. I'm gonna have to take a shower. Okay. Whew. We have a good number of small games on top. Okay. First off, Diner, designed by Matthew O'Malley. Published by Dice Hate Me Games. I really like this game. It's a quick place. It's like a real-time diner game review and how to play. Click, well, down in the doobly-doo for the how to play review, click the box. Also linked down below. Wow, that pollen is super itchy. Did you know I'm super allergic to pollen? Whoa. Yeah. Then we have, I'm gonna do this quick. Colorado. Colorado is a very awesome set collection game for 2 to 5 players. Takes about 30 minutes. It's basically Zularedo Light. I really like Colorado. I feel like Colorado is one that just every gamer should have. EcoFlux. I'm not a massive fan of Flux. I was a massive fan of Flux and I liked it, and I still actually do enjoy it for, like, I don't know, kind of just random, lazy, tired, let's go out to a bar and play a game silliness. Pirate Flux is really good for that. Monty Python Flux is really good for that. EcoFlux I like because it has some fun informational stuff in it, and it's also a really good introduction to people on like how to play Flux if they've never played Flux or if they've not really played games. This is a good intro game for that. So yes, I do have a copy of Flux, and it's the eco version because education. Omnirum. So this is one of the first edition Omnirums. This was printed in 2010, so it doesn't have the like tons of expansions. This is Omnirum designed by Shady Torbay. It's a 1 to 2 player game where you're trying to get keys to unlock these doors. It's a lot of fun. I really like it. It takes about 15 minutes. I know that you can now get, it comes in a bigger box and it comes with a bunch of expansions, and this is just one of those really good, solid solo games. So yeah, Omnirum. Also, from the same designer, Shady Torbay, we have, oh, I guess on this box, I don't know what the top is. We have Bion, which is a also solo or competitive game, or cooperative game, sorry. It's a 1 to 2 player game, co-op. Omnirum is also co-op. This one is, it's different, but it's similar. You're trying to balance the city cards. So every side has a light and a dark side, and you're trying to balance them. So yeah, it's also a good solo game. If you like Omnirum, try out Bion. I don't know if that's how you say it. Oh my goodness, my allergies are like going crazy from the pollen that was on this box.
Was that one by the window?
Mm-hmm. The other one has like way more pollen on it.
Must have come through the window.
Probably. Allergy season, woo! We have a, ooh, this is the very used copy. We have another copy of Daniel Solis' Light Rail in this box. We do have 2 copies because Steve and I did that thing where we both ordered the same game at the same time because we were like, yay, Light Rail finally came out! And then we both ordered it, and then we were both on the same day like, hey, guess what showed up? Yeah, it was funny. But the good thing is Daniel designed it so that you can combine multiple decks of Light Rail. So that's what we've done, and we made massive table-spanning Light Rail games, so that's fun. Light Rail. Ooh, No Merci. This is No Thanks. This is the French version of No Thanks. In April of 2014, Steve and I went to Europe for 2 weeks, and we traveled around, and the only souvenirs that we came home with were board games. So we came home with French versions of board games that we liked and enjoyed, and No Merci is one of those. I liked it because it's No Merci, which is no mercy in English, but it means no thanks in French. So yeah, I thought that was a funny funny thing. And I also like the form factor of the French games in the 10s. Lots and lots of games over there come in 10s, which I like. If I could, I'd buy more of them. Like this one, which is 6K print, which is 6 nimit. I think, what's the French translation of this? 6K print?
6 who take.
6 who take, there you go. So this is for 2 to 10 players, which is the great bit. It's like a trick-taking game, row-taking game, but you're trying to trick people into taking rows they don't want. I like this. You can play this online. They have a really good version of this on Board Game Arena, which is actually where I first played this. And then when I saw the copy in France, I was just like, oh yeah, so I picked up a copy in France. So, and both No Thanks and 6K Friend, or 6 Nimit, are language independent. So getting these as like souvenirs on a Europe trip works because we have the English rules printed off and in these, and we don't need to know, the cards have no language on them. So it works really well for souvenirs. Next up, Red 7. Red 7 is designed by Carl Kudzik and Chris Selslick. Sorry. It's from Asmati Games. I picked up Red at Gen Con, and then Red 7 is the modified rules. Red 7 is a really good game for 2 to 4 players. Takes about 5 to 10 minutes. I really like it. It's a game where you're just playing cards to your palette or the center, and if at the end of your turn you're not winning, you're out of the game. So it's a knockout game, but it's a very, very quick knockout game, so it's a very quick, logical play game that it's kind of like a little puzzle that you play against other people. So, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Rocco Rails, which is a game that Zen recommended online, and then I ordered it because it's awesome. It's a tile playing game where you're playing colored rail systems, and it does this really cool 3D effect. Zen has a video where he talks about it, link if you click here or down on the doobly-doo. But yeah, Rocco Rails, designed by a whole bunch of people in Japanese. I'm not really sure, but they have Rocco Spiel. They have a whole line of games which are called Roccos, which use the hexagonal card, or I guess it's not a hex, it's a, no, it's a hex. Duh. The hexagonal card to design really cool 3D perspective games. So, yeah. So this game has seen some love. This is our copy of Tornado. Tornado is from Baked Fresh Daily Games, and it was designed by... not really sure. We got a copy of Unpub. It's a 2-player game, and it's a game where you play in real life, where you like, it's like 50 card pickup, but there's only 20 cards, I guess. But one player is the tornado, and the other person is rescue workers. So at the beginning of a round, you throw the cards in the air, and wherever they land is the play surface. And the tornado can only go around the outside edge of the, like, where the cards land, and they have these little cubes, and they're trying to put the cubes on top of the cards, and if they put them on top of the cards, the rescue worker can't lift that card, and if you can't lift that card, you can't get to that card or anything under it. And the rescue workers are trying to rescue people, and you get points for rescuing people. So yeah, it's a fun game. We've taken it a few places and played it. It's just a fun, silly game to play in the middle of anywhere, and because people are just like, what are you doing? Yeah. The answer is you're trying to be a tornado. Cool, so, boom. This is one of my favorite games, Race for the Galaxy. I really, really do enjoy Race for the Galaxy. It's for 2 to 4 players, 30 to 60 minutes. I love Race for the Galaxy. It's an icon-heavy game where you're just building universal sets, and I love this game. If I could play this game every day, I would. And it's really a pain in the butt to teach because the icons, it's very overwhelming. There's a lot to like learn because they worked hard to make it so kind of not really language independent, but kind of language independent. And it's a lot of people, it's an engine building game. A lot of people complain that it's very like sandboxy, and it is. They do have expansions to help with that. I have one of those expansions, but I really enjoy sandbox games, so Race for the Galaxy. The opposite of sandbox would be co-op. So Flashpoint is a co-op game where you are firefighters trying to stop a burning building and rescue people. It's basically all you need to know. It's a fun co-op. I really like it. It's from Indie Boards and Cards, which is a weird name, but it's designed by Kevin Lansing. I really like Flashpoint. I can't remember if I've reviewed Flashpoint. I honestly can't. I remember talking about it a lot. I think I talk about this game a lot, and I teach it quite a lot at cons when people want to check it out and play it. Yeah, I can't remember if I've reviewed that. If I haven't reviewed this, I will review it because it's spot on. If I have reviewed it, link down below. Ooh. Here, we'll just do this guy next. So, along those lines of, oh hey, this one's actually on right. Along those lines of co-ops, we have Pandemic. This is the second edition Pandemic. This is the newer copy. Pandemic is a co-op game where you are playing the roles of the Center for Disease Control, or trying to stop the outbreak of 4 viruses in your co-op and working together. I prefer Flashpoint over Pandemic, but Pandemic is also a very good co-op designed by Matt Leacock. Next up, Imminent Domain. Imminent Domain, designed by Seth Jaffe and published by Tasty Munches Games, is a engine building, deck building game. It's very interesting because it uses the role selection mechanics similar to Race for the Galaxy or Glory to Rome, where everybody picks a role that they're going to use and then everybody gets to do that role. So, but it's with deck building, which is interesting. I like deck builders. I like Imminent Domain. There's a few expansions coming out recently and I do have them and I'm very excited to play them and get them and things. Imminent Domain. I desperately want to do a review of this game. I need to sit and play it, and lucky me, I have a lot of friends nearby that love this game, so look for that. Whoosh. Like, all of these are just not... Ugh. This that I'm fixing is Keyflower. Keyflower is a worker placement game where you are, I think you're building your own village or you're building another village, but it's for 2 to 6 players. You're like, it's got worker placement and bidding in it for places, and you're building a village. There's a lot going on in this game and it's pretty complicated. I love it because there's so many things you can do. It's really complicated. Which is why it doesn't get to the table that often and it takes forever. I'm really interested in sitting down and playing this 2-player with Steve to see if it holds up as a 2-player game, because I feel like that's the only way I'll get to play it. So, Keyflower. They also have a lot of expansions. I don't think there's been one recently, but yeah, they kind of milked the Keyflower line. Next up, Galaxy Trucker. Galaxy Trucker, it's a hefty box. So Galaxy Trucker, Shut Up and Sit Down, did a really good review of Vlada his Galaxy Trucker, where you build these really horrible ships. The rule book is the best rule book I've ever read. If you're writing rule books, read the rule book for Galaxy Trucker, because it is 1, super funny, 2, super funny, and 3, it's spot on. It teaches the game really well. It does its job well. Because there's now an iPad edition of this, I sadly don't probably play it as often as I should, but that's another one that we will probably end up getting to the table more as we are now in a neighborhood with new people, so we're kind of restarting our game group. Russian Railroads. Steve got this for me for my birthday last year, and it took us basically a year to play it. It's 2 to 4 players. We both really liked it. You're building the same railroad lines and there's no actual like railroad tiles, but it's about running a railroad company, not about building railroads, if that makes sense. So I'm a sucker for train games, and this fits the bill really well. I really like it. I really want to play it some more. It's designed by Helmut Oli and Leonard Orgler. I'm really bad at names. It's just something we're all gonna get used to. Woohoo! Le Havre. Steve picked up Love Hav last year because he basically looked like that guy. That was his excuse. Really, he likes boats. But really, it's a good Euro game where you place workers to take actions to build up your port business and like do shipping and stuff like that. We got it not too long before we started packing. We played it twice and we liked it. So yeah, it's 1 to 5 player, which is another reason it was picked up, because it has a solo variant. Steve doesn't often play solo games anymore, because if he's playing a game, I'm like, I want to play a game too. So yeah, but I travel, so you know, who knows? Maybe he'll find time to play it by himself. But yeah, I have. It's designed by U. Rosenberg. Yeah, same person that did Caverna and Agricola. Bam! That's this box. Woo! I hope you enjoyed this episode of Tiffany Unpacks in Oregon. It is, we're getting there. I think I want to say we're like 2/5 the way through. I don't think we're quite halfway through yet. There are 2 very large boxes that I will probably need help carrying over here at some point to open. But yeah, that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you saw a game that maybe you were interested in finding out more information about, or something. I don't really know what people are getting out of these episodes, but you know, if you're getting something out of them, that's good enough for me. So there you go. Otherwise, I will see you guys later, and yeah.